Hello everybody and welcome in. Today, special guest, HRNZ Chief Executive Peter Jensen. And Peter, can we talk about the MPI regulations first of all? What can trainers do and what can't they do under this lockdown?
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Look, there has been a little bit of confusion about this week, and I know for some people it'll feel like that's been a bit of a moving target. But what we're able to confirm late yesterday is that trainers can continue to work on their property, so they can exercise horses, they can work with young horses. As long as those horses are on the property now, you can't move horses other than for the purposes of to go to adjustment. And certainly the other key thing is that people can't move. So you can't have people come into your stable, whether that's an employee or a friend or relative, can't come to the stable for that purpose. The only exception to that is where you can't legitimately spell horses. So you need, in a bigger stable environment, potentially for a stable hand or stable hands to come in. But if you are in that case, you should have registered with MPI by 5 p.m. Yesterday. If you haven't done that, then you won't be able to do that. And it does mean that you can't go to a public training facility to exercise or work horses.
So clearly the objective here is twofold, isn't it? It's human welfare and it's animal welfare.
Absolutely it is, no question. You know, clearly health is the whole reason we're in lockdown at the moment, to keep people safe. Nobody wants to be in this situation. It's not one of anybody's making, but it is that. And from MPI's perspective, animal welfare is extremely important. And that's why we've been able to engage with them in the way that we have, because they understand that the care of horses, making sure they're fed and looked after, and also that they're appropriately exercised if they're in smaller yards or in stables, is a key part of just looking after a horse.
Obviously, it's been a crazy week for you. No doubt your phone's been ringing sort of 24/7. What sort of feedback are you getting from people? What are they saying to you?
Yes, it has. And look, the HRNZ only exists for the industry, so we'd expect everybody to want to be in touch and understand what we're doing. We've worked really closely with the Trainers and Drivers Association, so they've been fantastic in helping us get information out to people and making sure that the right information is getting out. And look, the main thing that people want to know, Dave, certainly is what can and can't they do under the alert level 4. And we understand that, and we've worked really hard to try and communicate that as clearly as we can.
The big question really, I guess everyone wants to know, is when will racing resume, do you think?
Yeah, that's everybody's second question, Dave, of course, is when can we be back at the races? We don't know the answer to that right now. What we do know, of course, is it won't be before the end of April. And it's more likely, I think, given the restrictions that we now have, that it'll be towards the end of May. Not many horses being fast worked at present, and they certainly shouldn't be, given there's no racing. So it's just going to take a little while for everybody to be back up to speed. Andrew Morris and some of the senior racing managers from around the country will be in touch with trainers next week, just to understand what they've decided to do with their teams, just to see if we can get a bit of a sense of what sort of horse population will be around and available to race towards the end of May, so we can start to schedule some programs. Same issue for thoroughbreds, of course, and perhaps a bigger issue for them in terms of the number of horses that are trained in a public centre environment.
Can you talk us through the financial implications? I mean, no racing here, limited racing across the Tasman, especially for the TAB. The implications must be huge.
Certainly, and the other point, of course, is there's no sport. You know, the sports like tennis, the Premier League, the NRL, all of those sports aren't available to bet on, and that's an important part of the TAB's revenue. It is very important that Australian racing is still on at present. We don't know how long that's going to last, but that's certainly a big part of their revenue as well. And I had a look this morning, there's plenty of thoroughbred meetings on, and harness meetings and greyhound meetings on for people to bet on. So that will be important. We don't know the final implications. We do know there will be one. We can't escape from that. So it's a matter of working together with the TAB, with the other codes, and I think at some stage with government, just to understand what the implications are and what we can do to mitigate those implications.
Obviously, a lot of people going through trying times at the moment. What's your message to people in the industry and beyond, if you like?
The first one, of course, is to keep yourself and your families safe. That's what everybody needs to do in this environment. Clearly, the care of the horse is important, but I don't think we need to be reminding people of that. People in our industry are in the industry because they love horses, and they'll make sure they're well looked after. So I think that's really important. The other thing that's also important at this stage is to acknowledge the government wage subsidy. That is a generous offer from the government. People should take advantage of that. Everybody's affected to a point where they can apply both for themselves and for their people to have at least some income coming in. It's paid as a 12-week lump sum. The information's on the COVID-19 website. It's on the Harness Race New Zealand website. If you haven't already applied, please make sure you do so. If you're uncertain about the process, get in touch with Liz or from Jenny from our office. Their numbers are up on the website and they'll help you through the process. They're happy to do that at any time.
Very good, Peter. Thank you very much for your time as well. And this is the first of many updates. Look forward to catching up in the weeks ahead.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that.